the Watch the Water findings. And so I've redacted that one little portion, but all the rest is just really talking about snake symbolism. So, and the importance of the snake symbolism. So if you haven't watched the Watch the Water videos, I would recommend you doing that on Brighton. I dropped the link of that in my description box. So I don't know if that's going to cause me a strike, but anyhow, here you guys have the video, just in case you haven't watched it. Hi there! I want to wish everybody happy Easter. And I don't know if you guys got to check out the Watch the Water video with the snakes and the snake venom. And whether or not you believe it or you don't believe it, what I'm trying to put together here is showing that the snake symbolism, which relates to the 13th zodiac of Fucius, and how that all ties into Neptune. And the Neptune symbolism is everywhere, and it's also tied into the war in Ukraine. So I just want to put this together, and I want to let everybody know that I don't put these videos together to create fear or to, put this into our reality. What I understand through psychology is that when you know something's coming, your pain and fear response lessens. Okay, so it decreases when you know something is going to happen. Okay, so, but I do believe this realm works through subconscious symbolism, and that symbolism is around us everywhere, right? And we don't even know it. Like the majority of the people don't know the symbolism. They don't know how it relates to mythology. They don't understand mythology and they don't understand astrology. So they just, it just goes into their subconscious brain. And by accepting it as that symbolism is okay, or you don't know what it means, you're actually supporting the stories that are, as we are creators of this realm, you actually are being used to create the realm, okay, by not knowing. So this is why I do this. I put these videos together so that we can see the symbolism and we can kind of laugh at it and kind of find it humorous so that you can actually take the strength away from it, okay? Because when fear is involved, it creates the reality stronger. So I don't want to create fear. I'm actually trying to do the opposite, to just kind of show you guys where everything is, the symbolism, what it is. And then it's fun, right? Because people send me stuff and they go, oh, I saw this, I saw that. And it's like we laugh about it. So this is kind of where I'm at. So if any of this stuff triggers you and makes you think that I'm creating fear mongering, I apologize that you feel that way, but maybe my channel isn't the right channel for you to watch, and you should just, find something that resonates with you more. But right now, for me, I don't really believe anything that's going on in the outside world. All I can control is my own emotions. And for me, seeing the symbolism makes me realize that it's all a script and we're just here for the ride. And you just have to figure out how you fit into that ride. So after my last video, I actually found, just by coincidence, mythology to do with golden showers. We know that Trump had this all kind of portraying at him, that he, was into golden showers with prostitutes, but it's just mythology, okay? So they're just showing mythology. And, this is all to do a little bit with water, right? Golden water, watch the water. And so that I find really fascinating. That kind of just fell into my lap. And then, we also have the whole snake venom and what that's all relating to. And this all ties into uridine, which is the pseudo-uridine that's being swapped in the mRNA for the jab. So this is all tying in. So I'm just kind of weaving this all through what's happening, what showed up this week, and how this is all tying into mythology with the golden showers. And, this all goes back to, urine. So I'll just show you how this is all tying in. And if you haven't watched the Watch the Water, if you don't know about it, I'm going to put it in the description box. It was a video that was released with a chiropractor talking about the drug that they use to help COVID patients is actually working similarly to snake venom. Okay, so that for sure is legit. Now, whether, the whole part about it's in the water and all this, that, who knows? All I know is the symbolism for watch the water is everywhere. We have the Neptune symbolism, which is to do with water, with waves, and he's the god of the storms, of the sea. He's also the god of horses. So I just want to tie that all in. So it's really kind of cool. All the pieces are kind of fitting together. Now, my last video was talking about the circlet of Pisces, and Adam sent me this. He had gone into seeing that the Shen ring is tied to Widget and Nekabit. So this is really cool. It's the infinity ring. It's kind of like the circle, being you're in the circle. So I see that as like the infinity, the circle, like you're going round and round. They're saying here it's like almost like you're being protected. But Nekabet, which is the dark side of Widget, which is like the dark side of Venus, they're saying, that she's kind of relating to snakes as well, right? The Cobra. So we get to the Cobra, but this ring, I'm not really sure that it's a good ring or a bad ring. Okay, well, we're going to keep, that on the shelf and kind of figure out what it means. But because it represents more with her instead of Widget, I'm kind of like, it's more like, you're stuck in the circle, you're going round and round. So they're saying here, representing internal encircling protection, frequently in her claws. Okay, so it's like she's picking you up, and she's like a vulture, right? So I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. It's almost like, maybe a little bit like the nose ring, you see that symbolism. It's like the omega as well. Here they're saying the Shen ring represents the eternity of creation. It's associated with powers like that of the sun, might be the mighty symbol. And then they're saying the yin and yang and the Ouroboros, which again is the serpent. And then I found the snake venom company Venom Tech announces partnership with Charles River Laboratories, which ran Fauci's secret island of medical experiments on monkeys and beagles. Dr. Eddie Betterman, MD. So this was just recently put out on April 15th. I'm just showing you that the snake symbolism is popping up everywhere. So this is where you need to go watch the other videos so you understand the extent of the snake symbolism. Now this is where it gets really weird because it's really an anagram. Cobra Vax is just like Cobra. Okay, and this is where it all ties into Ophiuchus and the king cobra. And it's just weird that it popped up because I just done that video about the king cobra all tied to Widget. Okay, so the king cobra, now look at the spelling. And now it's Ophius Fagus Hannah. Okay, so it's tied to Ophiuchus, the constellation. Like I never made this connection before. Like I know we hold snakes, but I didn't understand that the etymology of the wording meant snake. And somebody brought to my attention, remember Kobe Bryant, he was all tied to the mamba and, the cobra. And so that was, it's like, whoa, okay, so now we're really understanding what the snake symbolism represents. And I do believe it represents Ophiuchus, okay? It's all going back to this Ophiuchus doorway constellation. And there's a good snake and a bad snake, right? The good snake is wisdom. The bad snake is it bites you, right? And, you get the venom. So Robert Suffer just did a video all about Lucifer that you need to check out because he's talking about the snake and really the esoteric meaning of the snake. And he's did a really good job. It's a little short video. I think it's 30 minutes. You can go watch that. And, he's showing how it's all through all our cultures and how it has two meanings as well. So my intuition was right on that because I always believe there's a good snake and a bad snake. So they're saying here Ophiuchus represents Asclepius. That's why I always thought the constellation should be called Asclepius, because he's the healer. But, it's tying to snake. Okay, so holding a serpent. Ophius is a serpent. That means serpent. To hold, to have, to keep. So the cobra's full name is Ophiophagus. And the phagus means to eat, to the eater of, to have, to share your food. So it's eating you, to share out a portion, to get a share. So it's like, okay, so it's, the snake is eating you. Like, are you eating the knowledge of the snake, or is the snake eating you? So the full name is Ophiophagus Hannah. And Hannah is he was gracious, showed favor. That means cobra. And then it's also Anna, means gracious, what comes Hannah. And then Hannibal. So this is my favor is with Baal. Okay, now Baal is Jupiter. Right? So he's Jupiter. We have Jupiter-Neptune conjunction that just happened. So Hannibal, he was also, wasn't the guy in Silence of the Lamb, Anthony Hopkins, wasn't his name Hannibal? I think it was. And then we have Anna again. So Anna, the white woman, also a black woman who is considered to be acting too white, is Anne. Okay, so they're just going back to Hannah. So here's Ophiuchus, and of course at the head of the snake is the crown, the corona crown. Okay, so this is why it's all tied into corona. Why they don't use that word anymore, because, they don't want you to pay attention to it, but they had to drop it at the beginning because it's relevant. It's relevant to the story in the sky. Here's some old text. Ophiuchus, the word of God in combat with the serpent. A man also stands firmly grasping with both hands and dragging towards the space behind the serpent from Corona. And he does not permit the beast to touch Corona, though making a violent effort to do so. And Aratus styles him Angitnin. That's his other name. So they're just referencing that the serpent is Satan and that Ophiuchus is like Hercules, Adam, taking on this dragon serpent. This is getting weird. So they're saying here the pyridines of uridine, which is in the mRNA, and the cytidines were also found in the elapidids and the viperine venoms. In most of these, the amount of uridine was substantially greater than that of the cytidines. And then they're saying afterwards in the DNA, it isn't similar to venom because, well, mRNA isn't really DNA, right? It's different. So there's also other articles saying that uridine is in the snake venom, phosphorus. Okay, so I don't know, I'm not a scientist. All I'm saying is it's linking together. They're also using venom in headlines, like venom coursing through the body. Researchers identify mechanism driving COVID-19 mortality. Then you get all these other weird headlines. Man fighting second bout of COVID, bitten by cobra, paralyzed. UK man recovering from COVID-19, paralyzed by cobra bite in India. UA researchers found link between COVID deaths and snake venom. Even Harley Davidson has come up with a new color called snake venom. Now, if you get bit by a snake, it ends up affecting your kidneys. Okay, so they're showing here, yeah, it affects kidneys, and you get a dark coloration of urine. So they're saying here about Ophiuchus, it ties to Milton's poems. Ophiuchus, huge in the Arctic sky, Paradise Lost, is a rare minor lapse for the poet. This is Milton, the poet. Now, there's tons of songs, plays, shows, all to do with the Paradise Lost. You need to read that poem. It's really, well, he has a big book, but it's all relating to, we lost paradise and now we're basically here. So we're not in paradise anymore. That's the way I see it. And so they're saying that it's tied to the Arctic sky, okay? And then they're saying, like, he doesn't know where the Ophiuchus constellation is. It's not in the Arctic, okay? So, but I was listening to Barbara MARCINIAK, and she was saying that when they talk about the underworld, I've done lots of videos on the underworld, they're talking about under the world. They're talking about Antarctica, Okay, so that was our huge drop she dropped today, and I'll drop her video because that's really important because there's supposed to be like tech there, right, in Antarctica, and maybe that's the way, the doorway out of here. I don't know. Like all I'm saying is, she just said that this is where the time traveling. She did a video talking about time traveling and Trump's team and how they go in the future and they know, they can predict what, to come back and tweet what she says, like they're jumping time. And it's done to Antarctica. And so anyhow, so I just thought that was interesting that that's what she believes is the terminology for the underworld. It's under the world. So maybe Ophiuchus is the door, right? Like how I always thought it was. So now the symbolism of Ophiuchus, it's a U with this squiggle line through it, but that's the serpent, right? So Ophiuchus, yeah, he's Adam, he's Hercules, he's us, right? He's us. He's the only man in the whole constellation besides Virgo's the woman, but he's the man. Okay, so anyhow, this U is tied into what's in the news right now as well too. And of course, it all ties back to science. Now, uranium is named after Uranus, the heaven planet that rules Aquarius, okay, the Aquarian age. Okay, so we know this is important. Uranium is tied to heaven. Okay, there's this like link to heaven. Now, is heaven up in the sky? Is that good or bad? Who knows? That's for us to figure out. But I don't believe floating up in the sky and going to the moon is the good way you want to go. You want to stay grounded, okay, so that you are able to stay connected to Mother Earth. Now, this U, uranium, is this representing Ophiuchus? Uranium? Uranus? But it's in the news right now. Uranium is a nuclear biological chemical, right? And they're showing here that it's called yellow cake when it's used. Now, uranium popped up in the news. It's in the drinking water. So maybe that's what Watch the Water really is, right? Because this just hit the news. And it poisons you. And guess what it affects? Your kidneys. So they're saying a study finds widespread uranium contamination in U.S. drinking water. They're saying here detectable levels of uranium found in 2/3 of U.S. water systems. So studies find unsafe levels of uranium. So that just dropped like 5 days ago. So here it's showing that uranium affects your kidneys. Okay, so yeah, lung cancer and also the kidneys. And this was in the Wall Street Journal, that the virus in Latin means the spread of poison. Okay, so it's like, Then somebody said, somebody said in my comments when I dropped this Watch the Water video on the community and on YouTube, they said, do you know that urine actually helps with snake bites? And I was like, no, I didn't know that. So of course I start to look for it, and I find this thing on the Friends show. They were using this as part of their skit that Joey was going to pee on I think it was Rachel's snake bite or a sting that she got from a jellyfish or something, that he had seen that on the Discovery Channel. It wasn't easy to find it, but they're saying here, Ayurvedic practitioners suggest that a few sips of human urine would reverse the course of being bitten. He even quoted a Sanskrit verse. Okay, so I checked out this verse because they had it in capitals and small letters. So anyhow, I did the etymology on it. Yeah, and it comes out to urine again. So here it's saying that it means urine century. And then autonomous, so you're autonomous, right? And then also it's locus from Kamala. And then Bharat means heart or highly enlightened. Yeah, you're highly enlightened. So it's like, yeah, you understand the nectar. So drink water from your own cisterns, flowing water from your own well. This is in the book of Proverbs, 5:15. That's an important number, 5:15. May 15th, we have that blood moon this year. Hath my master sent me to the master and to thee to speak these words? Hath he not sent me to the men that sit upon the wall, that they may eat their own dung, oh my God, and drink their own piss with you. This was in Isaiah. More than 3 million Chinese drink their own urine in the belief it is good for their health, according to the official Xinhua news agency. So I don't know, maybe it helps with this poison, like I don't know, like it's just it seems weird that it's all linking together. So this popped up on YouTube and I thought, I should watch this. Russell Brand talks about the Illuminati. So I went in to listen to it and then he starts talking about mythology. And he's talking about Zeus, Jupiter, who seduces someone with a golden shower, right? So I'm like, oh my God, I don't know that mythology. So of course I had to figure out what that was all about. So when Zeus impregnates Danae, what is the meaning of the shower being golden? In the myth that Zeus impregnates Danae through a golden shower, what is the significance of the water being golden? Rain is often symbolism for semen, but why is it golden? Does it simply indicate glory when Zeus is king of the gods? Okay, so this is where it comes from. He impregnates Danae. Here they're explaining how Aphrodite is always described as golden from Homer. So they're saying here golden, but also brazen and silver. The adjective golden joins together with two myths that makes easy the translation from the golden race of men to the golden client and the golden Zeus and the allegations that he paid 100 golden coins to have sex with Danae. So sometimes they're saying it's coins. So this is where it ties into money. Okay, so we get the gold is the gold coins, but then you also have the silver coins. And I'm starting to see this as like the golden gate and the silver gate. It's like the two currencies, right? It's the two money. Currency ties into Taurus, rules the money house, and Taurus is your third eye, so and it's opposing the house of death where there's inheritance, which is also money, which is Ophiuchus, Scorpio Ophiuchus. So I'm kind of like, whoa, there's like that line between Taurus and Scorpio, which the upper house of Scorpio is Ophiuchus. It's the second house to the eighth house. So anyhow, this link of the golden shower, sometimes it's coins, and you can see this in some paintings. But that's the mythology that ties Venus to being ruling the money house, right? Because it's tying into the golden showers, and she rules money with Taurus. Now she gets impregnated, but she has the child Perseus. Now Perseus kills the sea monster, Siptith, and saves Andromeda, who's chained in a cave. Okay, so there's the whole story. It's all tying together now. It's all starting to make sense how it's all relating to the zodiac as well. And in this painting, they have Eros pouring out the rain on Danae. So, Eros is Cupid. Okay, so and if she's supposed to be, she's supposed to be, in some forms Aphrodite or Venus, but anyhow, Danae, but it's DNA, right? Did you get it? Like the DNA is in there. So it's like your DNA is getting activated. This is what this mythology is all about. Now, if these golden showers are actually about drinking your own urine, so it protects you from a snake venom bite, which could be poison that is uranium that's in the water. So I'm just saying, I know this is like a big, stretch, but it's all there. It's all there. It's all the links are there. So the mythology that by drinking your own urine, it protects you. You have, you've drinking the elixir of life, okay, which is from the well, the cistern. Disappointed by the lack of male heirs, King Archisius asked the oracle of Delphi if this would change. The oracle announced to him that he would never have a son, but his daughter would, and that he would be killed by his daughter's son. So, Perseus would end up killing him. At that time, Danae was childless, and meaning to keep her so, King Archisius shut her up in a bronze chamber to be constructed under the court of his palace. Other versions say she was imprisoned in a tall brass tower, almost like Rapunzel, I guess, with a single richly adorned chamber, but with no doors or windows, just a skylight as a source of light and air. She was buried in this tomb, never to see the light again. However, Zeus, The king of the gods desired her and came to her in the form of golden rain, which streamed in through the roof of the subterranean chamber and down into her womb. Soon after, their child Perseus was born. Wow. Unwilling to provoke the wrath of the gods or the Furies by killing his offspring and grandchild, King Acrisius cast Danae and Perseus into the sea in a wooden chest. The sea was calmed by Poseidon, Neptune, and at the quest of Zeus, the pair survived. They were washed ashore on the island of Seriphos, where they were taken in by Dicus, the brother of King Polydectes, who raised Perseus to manhood. The king was charmed by Danae, but he had no interest in him. Consequently, he agreed not to marry her only if her son would bring him the head of the Gorgon Medusa. Okay, now Medusa, she's the one that has all the snakes, a bit of her hair. You know, she and Neptune were lovers. And using Athena's shield, Hermes' winged sandals, and Hades' helmet of invisibility, so it's basically like she's like, a superhero, or he's like a superhero. He's got all this armor on him. Perseus was able to evade Medusa's gaze, and he decapitated her, chopped her head off. And that's how Pegasus was born. Okay, so because she was impregnated from Neptune. So there's that whole, we get the Neptune symbolism with the snakes, with Neptune raping Medusa. Okay, so this is what ends up happening. So now we see why we have Neptune and snake symbolism everywhere. Later, after Perseus brought back Medusa's head and rescued Andromeda, the oracle prophecies came true. He started for Argos, but learning of the prophecy instead went to Larissa, where the athletic games were being held. By chance, the aging King Acrisius, his grandfather, was there, and Perseus accidentally struck him on the head with his javelin, fulfilling the prophecy, which, he was going to end up killing him, but it was an accident, not intentional. I was looking to see if Venus and Neptune were lovers. There's some paintings. I like this one. He's with the horses and everything. Venus and Neptune, but you don't see too many artwork with Venus and Neptune. And then Danae and the Golden Rain is there. There's lots and lots and lots of paintings of that. There's also a Danae asteroid, 61 Danae, and she is actually in Capricorn with Saturn of the Golden Age, okay, on Infinity Day, Pi Day, in 2025, when the blood moon is on Zavijava at midnight. Actually, no, it's at 322. So Medusa got a bad rap, right? So Neptune wanted her, so everyone was aware of the commonly depicted Medusa with the hideous snake hair and the eyes that turn you to stone, right? So if you look at the head, you turn to stone. And that's why Perseus chopped off her head so he could use it to kill the beast, okay? So before Neptune came along, Medusa was a beautiful, innocent girl with extremely attractive hair. Neptune was enthralled by the woman, and his lust for her consumed his mind. One day, while Neptune was watching Medusa praying in the temple of Minerva, which is basically the same as Athena, his passion for her took complete control of his mind and body, and before she knew what was happening, Neptune was on top of her. The rest of the incident is self-explanatory. However, when Minerva found out what happened in her temple, she was irate. In her outrage, she turned the raped Medusa into the hideous-looking being that everyone knows her to be. Naturally, even though Neptune was the offender, he was punished in no way by Minerva. Later on, Minerva aided Perseus, not Perseus the golden shower boy, in killing Medusa once and for all. And it was all thanks to our noble god Neptune. On a more positive note, without Neptune's rape of Medusa, Pegasus would not be alive as the flying horse was the offspring of Medusa's murder. Yeah, so as soon as she died, her baby popped out. I think it was her leg, or maybe it was her neck. I think it was her neck. Rihanna was on the front of the GQ magazine, I think in 2013, as Medusa with the snake. And she's from Barbados, I believe. And then, Neptune is on their flag, and they just declared independence, right? So that's why she ended up being Medusa. Now, the other shocker, somebody sent me this, the emblem of the royal state of Vladimir the Great. This is all tying into the coat of arms of Ukraine. So we have the Neptune symbolism and the Grand Prince of Kiev, which is to do with Vladimir. So Vladimir, is Putin's name, right? But it's spelt differently here. It's spelt with an O. So that's crazy, because guess who else's name is that? Vladimir Zelensky. He has the same name as this great, king of Ukraine. Now, I'll just give you the synopsis on who this guy was. The memory of Vladimir was also kept alive in the inimitable Russian folk ballads and legends, which refer to him as the I'm not even going to be able to say that, the fair sun or the red sun. Okay, so there's statues of him. There's one in London, Kiev, in Russia. Okay, now, he was a pagan king, okay? And he got transferred into Christianity, and he created all his, citizens of his country to become Christians. Okay, he converted paganism over to Christianity. I guess this is why he's so famous, right? You can go read the history about him, but I was just blown away by this because, he was supposed to be kind and everything in doing this. I don't think he killed the pagans, but he didn't let them keep their traditions. Okay, so Christianity, in my mind, has its good side to it, but they did a lot of brutal things to people to convert them, right? They killed thousands of people. So, that's a religion that's supposed to be teaching people how to, live from your heart and have love, and they're going around killing people that don't agree with them. So I'm just it's a little bit hypocritical, right? So anyhow, that's the history. So I think this is kind of what's playing out right now. And it's who is Vladimir? Because they use the two different spellings, right? Sometimes it's spelled like Zelensky's way of spelling it, and then sometimes it's spelled like Putin's way of spelling it, Vladimir. So it's really weird, who is Vladimir? And now, the story of why he converted to Christianity was all because of this beautiful princess that was Christian, and he wanted her. And they're like, we're never going to marry, my princess. The king said to you, you're a barbarian, you're a pagan. So that is why he converted. And, because he converted, he had to convert his whole country. That was how he got her hand. So my video that I wanted to do was about Westworld. And, there's lots of symbolism with the milk. And now I'm starting to realize that this is snake venom, because they're the milkers. They milk the venom out of the snake. And I was trying to figure out, is it white? And yeah, snake venom is white or yellow colored. Okay, so you got the yellow for the uranium, and then you got the white for the snake venom. So I'm just like, whoa, okay, this was kind of cool that this has all come together before I do my Westworld video, because I'm not going to tell you guys exactly what happens, because I don't want to ruin the series for you. You can go watch it on Soap Today, number 2, but there's lots of pop-ups that come up, but you can, watch it there for free. There's 2 seasons, I think. And so anyhow, you can see the milk symbolism all through there, and I will go into what that is all about and how this is all tying into the Enlil and Enki story. That's what that show is really about. So go watch it, and then I'll do a little bit of a decode on it. So that's about it, guys. So I just wanted to put this together because I think it's really cool that all the symbolism is showing up everywhere, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful Easter. and it's really cold here now. I've been working out in my gardens, trying to get a shed ready for getting chickens. So I've been really busy. And like I said, if you don't hear from me, if you message me and I don't respond back, it's because I have not received the message. You either find me on Facebook, because that's, always works. But sometimes like people email me and it comes on one platform, like on my message board, but then doesn't come in my emails. And then other times I send people emails and they don't get them, and then they think I'm ignoring them. Anyhow, it's a bit of a mess. So I'm hoping that's all going to be resolved soon enough when I get the new website up, which should be happening by the end of this month. So anyhow, if you guys want a reading, just give me a shout. I think it's good to know your purpose. That's all helps to keep you, knowing that you're on your right path, and gives you some type of stability. And I also teach you how to read the charts when I do the consultations. So it's well worth it to help you understand how to know yourself, right? This is all we can do. All you can do is control your own emotions and all this. We can't stop this. This is a skip, a script that's been, made for thousands of years. We're just watching it all unfold. All you can do is stay in bliss state. So hopefully, you can jump into a different timeline. Like Barbara Marciniak says, there's different timelines. You just have to always stay out of fear. Okay, and this is why I put this stuff together, because I find it almost like amusing. I don't find it fearful. I find it amusing. So hope you guys are there too. So happy Easter. Miss you all. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe.